gotta move out of the way.
I golf with him.
You know him, okay. Yeah. They've been working with me now for a few years. They've been great to work with. Lucky we'll get a walleye.
Why is it green?
They're tougher. It's the color of the water down there. The algae will tint the water. Yeah, isn't that cool? So now you'll notice though, if you look down into the holes, guys, it is super, super clear, the lake is. So everybody thinks this lake is really healthy. Unfortunately, that's not the case. What it is there are zebra mussels, little tiny clams in this lake. And they eat the algae, making it really clear. The problem is then the sun shines too intensely on the lake bottom, and the weeds grow super fast. So these lakes in the area have got tons of weeds. People are putting chemicals in the water to make them die, and it's kind of a mess.
Can I scoop? I'm going after No, I want to scoop. Red, you can do it after The water is not that cold, huh? Yeah, look, touch it. But it's not as cold as I thought it would be. Why are you doing that?
We're laughing with you.
I'm sorry, this isn't my full-time job, Cammy. I'm sorry I don't scoop ice out of holes for a living.
Okay, so you just pull down or push down on that green button. And then stop, and go reverse. Now do it reverse for a while. Let it run. Go down a little more. Now pull her out. You're a hole driller. How was that? Nice work.
I want to try.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
Just push this.
Pull tight, push that down. We'll get you in the middle. There we go. Go for it. Okay, now, go right down. Now hold it a little bit more. We'll reverse it to get some of the chunks out. And we can pull up. We'll reverse. Perfect. There you go. We'll be drilling more later. I'm going to put some tip-ups out. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get a few people in this house. Whoever's going to be in here, get situated. I'm going to go grab the minnows. I'll show you how to get started. We've got a total of, well, I've got ones I'm running, 1, 2, 5 houses that I'm running, and I've got one a little further that way. So we got 3 ambush houses, and that's what we're using today. It's this awesome scenario, the best house to use for guiding. So let me show you a couple basics here to get us going, and this will apply everywhere. The simplest way to do it is right kind of through the back, top of the back like that. You don't want to hook them too much. You want them to still have some life in them.
Wait, do you hook all the way through? Like you gotta double hook them?
Yeah, you only need to hook it one time.
Okay.
I'll give you a tip on a leech too. You should only hook a leech one time near the sucker. If you hook them twice, I learned this when I started guiding, they can curl up. And then they go down and they curl like this and the fish can't see them. If you just hook one time, they swim and they get like this long. Ooh. Hot tip for you.
And do we have a net or anything? Or?
No net. No net. So
This is the net.
do your best. Yep, you kind of pull it up. If I'm in the house, I'll kind of grab for it. Otherwise, pull it up and get it off to the side. And it's kind of part of the fun to see who can get the fish on the ice. So let me show you how to run a rod. I recommend 2 different ways to hook a minnow.
All right, let's see.
Okay, so if it's a little bit larger hook like this, and this is a heavier rod, a little bit harder to bend, we'll just do it the same way. We'll go through the tail, pull that back, drop it down. The cadence of jigging is, you should do something kind of like this. So little tiny things like this, there's BBs in that, they're clacking when you do that. Pop every once in a while, kind of pop it, and then just kind of hold. Okay, and then kind of repeat. Any one of those 3 types of techniques work well. Now, for those of you who love getting your hands dirty with things, they sometimes bite best on just a minnow head. So using my thumbnail, I just pulled that minnow head off. Yeah, that'll be none of us, you're saying, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah. Now I'll bring in some wax worms that are yeah, you got a drink with you. Okay, if you want to switch a reel, just fairly carefully, what you just unscrew it. It'll unscrew, you pull that, put it in the other side, and then you can screw it back together if it's more comfortable on the other side. I'm going to keep these minnows in here for right now.
Okay.
You guys can kind of get started. Excellent, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we got them down. So it looks like everybody's concentrated in those other houses, so we're going to go to those other houses here. As a guide, you've got to be able to adapt, baby. This morning we had, I don't know if anything else could have went wrong this morning, but we've adapted. And right now we're rocking and rolling. And let's look at the bright side here too. We've got all these people that have never been fishing before on the ice. They drove out on the ice. They're drilling holes, things that they normally wouldn't do if I had gotten it done beforehand. And it ends up being a positive here, and they're just eating this stuff up, so it's a lot of fun. So to save your guys' hands here, we have got a little dip net you guys can use. So I'll teach you guys about the rattle reels first. These ones here. Okay, so we'll start out by just putting a full minnow on there. Show you also at the same time here how to use this fish finder. So the rattle, that means you got a bite. So you listen for the rattle. Here's one thing, you don't use the reel on this. You're actually going to pull it up by hand if you get a bite. You're going to go kind of through the back, towards the tail, kind of like that. You don't want to hook them too hard or roughly, because we want them to be nice and full of energy, not hurt when they're down there. Okay, so here's how this comes into play. This is the transducer that reads the bottom. It needs to be just below the bottom of the ice. We've got it set just like that right now. Okay? So, the bottom is this area right here. All of that junk is the bottom. It's kind of a lot of weeds and stuff, and towards the end it turns into mud. You don't need to worry about that. What you need to worry about is this line right here. This line is your bait. Okay, so you see he's going down into place. So now when you get a bite, you guys, with this fish finder, here's the big thing. The bite is going to show up as another line that's on there. Oh boy, I see one. There's a line below. It's moving. It's coming up. So watch what I'm doing. I'm teasing it. I'm bringing it up a little bit. Now I'm going to stop. He's looking at it.
What kind of fish?
So it's a bluegill that's down there. Let me show you how to do a rod next, because I want to see when you guys actually catch this fish. We're going to try a minnow head for this. And then I'll get you your little maggot waxworms as well. So this is going to be a little crazy, guys. Sometimes they just want the head. So with the rod, see how I hold the rod like this? You're normally going to feel like you want to hold it like that. You can. This way works really well for ice fishing, because when I get a hook, when I get a bite, I'm going to go like this. You want to bring it up really high. You'll see me sometimes I exaggerate. I'm all the way to the ceiling to make sure that you get them on the hook. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now I flip this over. Oops. And then the line will go down. You're going to see a line that shows up. There it is.
Which one?
That one is falling. See it falling? That is your bait. Now fish are going to show up as a line too, so here's some fish below it. Okay, so now watch how I do this. So I'm jigging, just like really lightly jigging. Oh, I see one coming up.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Oh, he's on it now, so the two lines become one. That's when I start watching the tip of my rod. They're just looking at it. So sometimes they'll just look. So the jigging you can do is kind of these big jigs like this. I do these tiny little jigs at times. If they chase it, do what I did before, where I'm oh so slowly raising it. Now I'm going to stop. Oh, he just bit. He just bit. I can see on the tip of my rod. So I'll hand this over to somebody. All right. There's another one ready to go here, but I'm going to get you a wax worm, the maggots, to put on that one. I'll show you what that's all about.
I see it. It's trying to get it. It's biting it.
Yes?
Hold up.
Cool, I got one. Straight up.
On my phone.
Don't use your rod thing.
Okay, just a second.
Whoa!
Oh, you lost him.
We lost
Okay,
him.
Oh, we have
B
one. Okay.
as in boy, 5.
Couldn't get
So
it.
say hello to the wax worms. They're going to be your best friend though here in a second.
Can't be gonna do it.
Give me a call
Yeah.
now.
Okay. So there we go. Did you see how when the lines come up, the other fish come up? You understand that?
Okay.
There you go. I'm going to leave these waxworms in here. It's fun watching them the first time they learn how to do these things. Some people catch on right away. Other people takes a little bit more practice, I guess you could say.
This is fun. You can see them in this one.
Yeah, you can. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to give you guys a second fish finder here.
Oh.
We'll do it on this one so I can show you. The dial goes up like this. Watch when I raise this bait.
Oh, yeah.
See that line?
Oh, yeah.
You'll also see it. I love this one for this reason. You can see it there. You can see the history of it. Or if you see lines above it, pull it up, reel it up a little bit. Get the bait above the fish. That's a good thing to always remember. Try to get it above the fish.
Okay.
I come bearing some gifts. I've got a right-handed reeling pole here. Let's make sure this is good. Okay. Do we want one more?
Yeah,
Let's do another righty reeler.
Is there a left one?
There we go. Yes. There we go. Okay. So yeah, you know, ice fishing is quite a bit different than when you're fishing during the summer as a guide. During the summer, we're all on the boat, okay? And there's, you know, good conversation to be had, but there's also movement of the boat. We're trolling, things like that, some more activity. So, you know, ice fishing, I tend to be out and about moving around because I've got plenty to do. I'm going to put a bunch of tip-ups up here with some big minnows, and we're hopefully going to get them up onto the ice. It'll be fun. Don't worry about anything else. I'll deal with the other side.
Okay.
There you go. You're done. That's all. Okay. 20 more paces, then do 2 more lines of 3. These are the big boys that we're going to put on those tip-ups out there. Only big fish bite on these here, so this should be fun. I want you guys to know what we're doing out here.
Whoa.
These are these big minnows. They're called heavy pike minnows.
What the heck?
They are for big fish. Now, even some medium-sized fish go for these, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens. But we're going to put these up on tip-ups outside. When I finish, I'll show you guys how to work those out there. Pretty cool. So one neat thing, a lot of people don't know this either. It's a fairly small hook that you can see on there. It's actually really small. We're going to use this really small treble hook, that triple hook, and we're going to hook it into these larger minnows. It's a misconception that you need this huge hook to, you know, hook these minnows up with. You want a smaller hook. The hookup percentage, the amount of fish you actually catch when you get a bite, is way higher with that smaller hook. Here we go, big boy going down.
Dang.
Don't catch me.
Going down.
We're not putting it that far down because I can see the weeds right there. He's just moving right into it. So here's the way it goes. He swims above the weeds because I've got it up, set it really high. The fish are down on the bottom. They look up. There's a little bit of light up here going down. They'll see the shadow of this fish that's that long in the middle. They come up for that shadow. They sometimes don't even know what it is, but they're so aggressive. They come up and they say, "Get out of my house." That's a big boy. It's a big minnow, small hook. That's the other thing too. A lot of people don't know. Cool. I'm gonna go to one more spot. We'll put that last one up. I've been out in a blizzard before. By the end of the trip, couldn't find any of my tip-ups because they were drifted over, and it was nighttime. Little headlamp on my head, trying to find them, just gave up after a while. We got a flag up. Temper expectations. Now that I've got everybody out here, it's not moving. We look for this to keep spinning. Go for it, man. Go for it. Pull up nice and quick. Quicker, faster, faster. Good, good, good. Keep coming. Keep coming. Something pulling. Keep going though.
Oh, he got mangled.
A little tug. He did get mangled a bit, so there was a fish on it. I like what I saw there. So these bobbers here, this is what's going to prevent those false flags from going up like that. We're going to put these bobbers on there, put a little more buoyancy on the line, so then those minnows can't just, you know, right now they're running around doing whatever they want. This will prevent them from pulling it up and making the flag pop up. Flag up! Wait about another 10-15 seconds. If it doesn't start moving, then we'll do a little pull. Don't worry, it's all good. You could drive a semi on the ice right now. No, I'm not kidding, or a big tractor. That's how thick it is. Okay, who's gonna be the first on this one? Okay, so in a moment here, I'm gonna hand it to you. You're kidding me. Took the minute. I'm gonna hook them different. We're gonna switch the way we hook them. We're gonna do a bunch of different things here. This prevents any funny action. Funny business. There's a little bit of interference going. That kind of happens at times. Let's try some here. I'd say in about 15 minutes. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's start cheating. They call this live imaging. Like that, boom. So this reads, it's gonna read like this. Okay, move this once. There you are. You were that dot that's right there. I'm gonna give it a little bit more gain. That's you. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it kind of flutters out of the zone that it reads it. Stop there, go ahead, click it over. I'd stay above him, like no more than you are. You could go even a little lower if you want. We're seeing him move right here. He's coming right at you. Now a little bit of a lift, slow lift. So now the fun thing is seeing them come from the left and the right. Sometimes you'll see them coming from a distance. Let me do something here to make this even work better.
Which one's your line?
See it, it'll pop up a little bit. See it?
Okay. So now we're cooking, guys.
How'd you kill it?
I don't think we killed it. I think he's still alive. We gotta put him back in the water.
Mouth stretcher.
There we go, yeah. Make sure we don't get you caught. There we are.
The pike.
Excellent. Who caught it then? You? All right.
Where's it go?
You guys get some pictures with it?
Do they go back in the lake?
Okay.
So it's important as a guide. Ooh, we're booking trips right here as we speak. I love my online booking system. There we go. As a guide, there's a couple things here to kind of keep in mind. One, you want people to catch fish here today. That's number one. Two, you want to keep them engaged. Three, we'll make sure they're having fun. They're beginners with ice fishing, so I need to get in there and actually do a little bit of fishing with them so they can get more confident by watching me and the things that I do. It's probably the best way for anybody to learn. Another tip for you, if you do use your teeth to chew this line off, you think, oh, it's not going to matter. It does. It makes the line really thick right at that point, so I like making a cut at an angle with the scissors. I don't care how small this hole is, it'll go in there now. We get one! That one there is going to be yes, that'd be edible.
Wow. What kind is it?
It's a pike. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let me do portrait mode. These turn out awesome. 1, 2, 3. Oh, money.
Wow.
All right. There we go. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
Fell out of his mouth.
That dead minnow, we're going to keep that. Sometimes they go for dead ones. We're going to get a jaw spreader on this guy. He clamps it down. Right on cue. This is the last one we're going to look at. That helps him do what he's supposed to do.
It's like mine surrounded by.
All right, we're going to put him in a hole over here because if there's any bluegill below you guys right now, this guy will spook them. There we go, bud. You go get big.
Fires for that one, big time. Yeah. The proud winner.
Drop it. Stay stuck in there.
Okay, have me get a picture.
That just means we're trying. If you don't get tied up, it means you aren't trying hard enough.
Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out. One, two, three people could do this. I need to. Okay, let's see fish finders in every hole.
Franks, you need some bait?
If it was me, I would try this one.
We gotta keep putting it on our
Give it a
radar.
shot.
Oh, wait. Oh, that might be yours.
Do you see me dancing around?
See, look, this is the seafloor seasonal dots right there.
yeah.
Perfect.
Feel the bite a little bit easier. Yeah, sometimes it gets stuck on the ice.
Can't see where it is.
There you go. I think it's good now. Fuss with things and no, it's
Did you get another?
not worth it.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a little.
Oh
there we
my
go.
god.
Now we're doing it. Now we're doing it.
Finally, we got the sensation of getting one.
Yay!
There you go, Frankie.
If they are
All
biting
of you guys.
Frankie,
on
hold
those
up.
jigs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'll get it.
so you'll notice this time of the day, everybody starts coming onto the lake.
Yes,
All
this is,
fishing, because this is it.
it's sunset fishing hour.
This is what we live for. Yep. From now till 6 o'clock, the crappies will start replacing some of the bluegills. Okay, guys, let's do this. We've got crappies below us now. We're on Detroit Lake, and I've got a few different options that we're going to use here. We're going to be using a spoon here on a nice medium light rod, custom rod. Using some wax worms. We'll try minnow heads, maybe even a full minnow if that's what they want. But then instead of a rattle reel, we're going to use a dead stick rod here. This is the JT walleye snare right here. And we're just going to set this up in a rod holder here. And the line will go down into the hole. It's got a double drag on it. So it pulls out the drag when I get a fish. And all I have to do is set the hook and click the reel over, and then it goes to the reel drag. So these are really effective to use during the ice fishing season, really good for crappies and for walleyes both. So we'll get some lines down right now and we'll see what kind of action we get into. This is how we put this down here, this down rod, as I call it. Nice and easy. We'll use the live imaging here to read it so we can see it going down. So this has been a known spot. We've been catching fish here this year. So we start with that. We've been seeing some fish here too. Some people call that though a fishing a memory. And hey, that's okay. That's what we all do. We fish those spots that we know to be good. Earlier today we had a guided trip out here, and they left right before the crappie time. So I hate to say it, but I'm here to clean up for what they didn't catch. All right, so we got a minnow down there. I can see it on my live imaging here. In a moment, I'll have you watch as I put this down. We use wax worms. I'm using spikes right now. We'll see how that goes. We'll put a couple on this, just a real tiny jig right now, low profile. Till I know that the bite's going to be more aggressive, I'm going to start a little bit smaller. So this is another JT rod I'm using here. It's a panhandler rod. And I'll talk about how wonderful these reels are here. Once I get this thing untangled. We got a single one on there. Let's blow it up here a little bit. This Summit shuttle that I use here is really slick the way that it's got that light built into it. There we go. Here I am right there. Alright. Now you get to watch me. So what I'm doing here, based on the way the year's been going, is sometimes we'll see them halfway through the water column. We'll see them coming through from the left and from the right. Those are aggressive days. That's awesome when that happens. Usually they'll come and they'll smack it. But right now, I don't see anything down there right now. I'm going to get right down by the weed line, just above it. And I'm going to do a little bit of jigging, because we've got a little bit of carpet of weeds down there. It's probably a foot, foot and a half, maybe even 2 feet of weeds. And there are fish hiding down in there. Yeah, you see how that it pulls it out there? It can't detect anything, and then automatically clicks over to that heavier drag. It's probably one of the best reel inventions in the past decade, I think. So I don't have a whole lot of patience when it comes to this. Crappies, you know, they're around, right? And I know that. And they're not below us right now, so I've switched over my live imaging to forward mode, and we're just doing a little searching. We're seeing we got the weeds to the left, which I know are there. This is where we're at. Okay, so behind us I can see it's look independent from the weeds. It could be a big weed. This is one of those nights where you're kind of wondering where did the fish go and how come this happened when I'm on camera. So this inline reel that I'm using here, it's a 13 fishing inline reel. They work really slick. Guy once told me something that I agree with 100%. Yeah, they're great fishing indoors. Like we're fishing here in a nice ambush house, we're nice and comfortable. The line doesn't freeze up. Once you go outside and maybe set it down, you get a little ice chunk on it, then it causes some problems. It might not go down quite as fast, and that's when maybe your trusty spinning reel would work a little bit better. You know, but in a house here, this is all that I ever use. All I got to do is click this here, and boom, the line goes down just by clicking that. I highly suggest if you haven't used one of these inline reels yet, go ahead and grab one. This one on this rod here was about $75. It's a Black Betty by 13 Fishing. It works really well. This one here I got a deal on. It's like their trick shop one. Really nice one there too. But as you can see, it does not catch the fish for you. We're still searching here, baby. So when it's slow like this, what I'll do is I'll pull out a spoon, for example. It's going to make a little bit more noise. Right now I'm using the Northland coffin spoon. It's got those buckshot in there, those little BBs. It makes some noise. And I'll do really quick, very small jigging movements like that, and followed by some big ones. And I'm trying to exaggerate. You know, the big swoops like this, they're not going to deter crappies. They'll deter smaller sunfish. You'll see them scoot away when you do one. But it's one way to discriminate between sunfish and crappies is to give it that big jig. Right now I've got one that's coming up there. Oh, and it just got spooked. We got a panfish, man, I tell you what. And other people are, you know, they still hold out hope when they see it, but when I see it kind of scoot away, I'm like, well, maybe we should move spots. All right, so we got everything packed up here. We are very fortunate. Today, I have got multiple ambush houses that I can choose from to fish out of. So we were here for 10-15 minutes. We didn't see much action down there. Heck, if you've got the resources, let's go to another house. So we're going to go over to one of their wheelhouses, ambush wheelhouse right now. Give you a peek inside there, see what it looks like, and we'll see if the fish are over there. Okay, we'll go to the other house here. Maybe this is the one that'll be the ticket tonight, guys. But we have got ourselves a little bit more room here in this house, right? I like it. So these ambush houses, they've got this really cool feature, and you might have seen it in the last house I was in, but you've got a pedestal right here to put your electronics. So if I'm jigging like this, my rod tip is pretty low, okay? But I want to be able to look at the screen, have it near my rod tip, right? Solve the problem real easy with this. Alright, so we got that up there. So now I'm going to have my rod the way it should be, okay, parallel with the floor, and I can do my jigging, and my tip of my rod is right by that screen. You can't beat it. And these ambush houses, this is exclusive to these ambush houses. It's a thing they started adding to them a couple of years ago, and it's just amazing. So I'm going to switch out these little spikes, which they're similar to wax worms, but I'm going to switch them out with actual wax worms here. So Mark right below me right now in these weeds, but let's watch when I put my lure down here. Oh yeah, he's down there. So you see he just came up out of the weeds on the other side. Now we just need to get his attention, right? He's kind of hovering by it. He swam to it really fast. It usually works. Now I'm going to go completely still. He's up there. Here we go. Oh. So we've got fish down there. I know they're there. They even came up and they're sniffing it. One bit on it. What I'll do in those scenarios scenarios sometimes if they're not necessarily crushing it. I'm going to do a big drop, right? I'll just pull the trigger, let it drop really fast. It's a spoon, so it kind of goes all over, a lot of directions. Let it fall quick. See if we can get some the attention of some of these fish that are down there. Okay, so we got a second fish that's coming in right now, and so the importance of having another fish come in, have some competition. I can't stress how good that is, because now what you've got is these fish that have been looking at my lure, they've got to make a choice now, because now their buddy's coming in, they're going to take it. So you'll notice the fish are going to be more aggressive the more of them that are around, the more competition there is. A little frustrating. Okay, they don't want this. Let's try something else. First thought, downsize. If they're not biting, it's downsize. There's a nice one down there. He's just sitting there, and he's not scaring away the other fish either. That could be a walleye. Got one. This one? Oh, stay on. This is going to take... That was a fish. Let's go with Minnesota record walleye. It was a pike, okay? Holy, he hammered that though. And it looked like one of those, what I thought was a weed down there, moved. That's how I knew it was a fish. Now here's the deal, let's get back down there. I'm doing something right here. So let's put it right back down there. Son of a gun. Oh, God. I worked. Look, we got 2 bites going on. We got one. Patience is a virtue, you guys. Oh, see if I get this one. Come on. Oh, the minnow's off. Okay, so let's do the right thing here. Get this guy back in. Crying out loud here. Same time, bull crap. Little silver dollar sunfish here. Okay. That one's gonna haunt me tonight, I think. Yeah. We're hooking them just barely. Not too much skin. Just like if we were to get pierced by something, the less skin you get in it, the less it's going to hurt. You know, the more active we would be, the more active that minnow is. Let's let her down. I didn't even see that fish come up and bite it either. I mean, that was like a phantom bite. Round 2. It's 2-rod thing. I don't know. Maybe you should be focusing on one. There is a lot of truth to that, by the way. So just because you can doesn't mean you have to. The saying comes up, you can legally fish 2 rods. But if one is getting in your way, or if you're catching less fish overall, focus on one. And at that, I'd probably end up focusing on your jigging rod. They're going for things that are still. They don't like big swooping jigs. They don't like bigger spoons. Right now, they want just a simple dead stick with a minnow and a small jig with wax worm, is what I caught that last one on. So they're not biting on what I'm giving them. Well, actually they are, and then they're just running away. They're teasing me. So, oh, here comes one. We're going to try something else here. It's a lipless crankbait. They got lots of names that they give them. That little tiny rattle bait, like a rattle trap. I've had luck with these. I do see one coming in. We do a really dramatic drop there. Here he comes. Bigger too. Okay. The trick is not to jig him too fast. Here he comes. Holy crap. Is it a pike? We're gonna give me a wally. Give me that wally, Walter. Alright. That's the golden hour fish there. That's the fish we're looking for, I should say. Oh, and he's done mess up everything here. We got a walleye. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. There we are. About the perfect eating size walleye. That's about a 13.5, 14-inch walleye right there. That is what we're after. Very aggressive. He came off from the left and just popped it. He really liked that rattle bait that I put down there. And I suppose I should try doing that again, huh? All right, so here we go. Here's the biggest flex move ever is when you release a walleye. Most people like to keep them. I put them back for my customers. Here we are, beautiful walleye here on Detroit Lake. Oh, I see you, you sucker. I see you coming from the left side. Let's make another. Oh, and there comes your buddy too. We got competition. This could be good. So I said it already, but with these rattle baits, you don't want to jig them too aggressively. The BBs in them, it should be like a as you bring it up, you should be able to feel tiny little shaking and clacking of the BBs in it. The rules go out the window when the fish swims away. I'm doing some heavier jigs with this here, making noise, just seeing if I can get him to turn around. I'll tell customers, you get a lot of ice fishing especially. It's didn't catch anything, this and that. It's what makes a difference is we don't have the music on right now. We're not walking around.
Right.
You know, a guy could turn off the lights in here even and maybe have an advantage, but like you've got to fish right. You got to
Right.
do it the right way and know locally, you know, how people are fishing for things. It's really shallow here. That's why the noise thing is critical, and even the light. If we were fishing in 25 feet of water, yeah, they could hear you moving around, but they can really hear you when you're in 12 feet of water. So that's what we're kind of contending with right now. Okay, we got some on the sides here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Set that hook set, trying to break the rod. All right, we got a crappie. That was hard. We worked for this crappie here. All right, there we go. Good Detroit Lake crappie. All right, sitting down there, go get your big brother. But that was a fun catch. It was. I had to work for it. She's using a small jig there with wax worms on it, and it's all about that high hook set that you could see. I brought it all the way to the ceiling, and then you start reeling really fast too, because that's what the deal is with getting them to stay on. If you let up at all, then you're in trouble. Let me show you how to hold a crappie, by the way, too. Put your finger in the back there, in the gill. Try to hide that hand. This is the money maker. He is not cooperating. That tail just wants to stay that way. That's all right, though. All right, he's been out enough. Let's put him in the water. Excellent. Tell you what, though, walleye, crappie, if the guy was looking for it, guy'd have a meal right now. Here comes another one. This is why you use tungsten, to get them down there right away. Another one coming. It's incredible how you use a lead jig. It's slow. Holy, a huge one. I just went past it. There's a couple down there right now. As I was dropping it down, huge dinner plate just showed up on the screen. I went right past it. So we've been out here recording now, actively fishing for probably about an hour and a half here. We knew when the best bite time is, and patience pays off. Because right now, this is later than the bite time I expected. They're showing up. Grab it. The high hook set. The high hook set all day long. A little bit bigger bluegill. All right, now we're talking. Fish are biting. Someone rang the dinner bell. Bye-bye. There it goes. You saw it. It existed. There's a big one down there. Oh, come on. Oh. Put my ambush hat on. Okay. It's going to be a pike. I'm going to guess a pike. It's a pike. I want to prove this one exists. Get up here. Here's your hammer handle for you right there. I tell you what, they get a bad rap, but pike are fun. They come out to play. First thing I'll tell you to do when you're trying to do this, especially when they're being a bugger, first off, get yourself a jaw spreader. They're pretty handy to have. And see, you can pull off the minnow, because the minnow gets in the way of where that hook is. That's a big tip that's really helped me out over the years. Okay, now we can get to that hook. And we can do this without harming the fish. Otherwise, if I thought I couldn't get it out, I'd be cutting it by now. Not worth it. We got it out though. Here we go. All right. Go down there and grow big, buddy. Okay? You do you though. Keep being aggressive. We love catching you. All right. Well, I know what I'm going to smell like the rest of the night, but I don't care. That was fun. Okay, so right now, here we go. Here's a moment. This is a real thing that could be helpful. A moment that you probably all had, you guys, where you see a fish down there, and you want to put this line down, but holy crap, you don't have much time. Let's get another one down. So as a fishing guide, this is the stuff that, you know, it changes. Customers will call and ask me, what time should we book? 2 to 6 has been good. 1:30 to 5:30 usually is pretty good. And usually that's good because you can catch the pike and bass and bluegill during the day, but then you also get into the crappie time later in the night, crappie and walleye. Right now what I'm seeing though is a shift much later. We're at 6:40 right now. I'll even contact my people for tomorrow and say, here's what I'm seeing. I might suggest, hey, just a simple 2:30 to 6:30, little change like that. It might make the difference. That last half hour there, make a trip worthwhile. It's the end of the day. Gotta know when to say when. Okay, we haven't seen a fish now for a good 10 minutes or so, and they've been coming on the screen a lot more than that. So that's really important, is to know when to say when, and we're gonna do that now. Okay, we had our fun. We're gonna end it, but we had a unique day here. We had a huge group that we were guiding on the ice. We had some issues that happened today. I had a blade fall off an auger, had to have some people come help me, but what it is all about is the overall total experience for the customers. So, you know, my role and my goal here was to make it a good time for everybody. We got everybody in the house, and the auger eventually came. I got somebody to bring it to me. We drilled holes. We got to show everybody how ice fishing happens, you know, from the first steps. So that was kind of neat, and I went with that, you know, and the customers had a good time, so it worked. But, you know, as time went on, what we saw here is that the bite really kind of picked up a little bit later. You know, they lost their patience, the customers. Sometimes that happens. They lost their patience and they ended up taking off. And then we kind of did pretty well here the last half hour or so. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, we're going to tell my next customers, hey, let's shift our trip back a little bit further. But I'll tell you one thing that's a constant, it's this. We're sitting in an ambush wheelhouse right now that is amazing. The heat is on. It's clean, it looks amazing, we're luxury on the ice right now, and I've got 2 other units that I have to choose from. I'm the luckiest guy alive, I tell you what. This is a great weekend. I can't thank Ambush enough for helping me out with some of these larger trips that I've got. The customers love these houses, and my hope is a couple will go buy a house or 2 from Tim and Lynn over there at Ambush. So we're going to wrap this up here today. It was a good day. Got into a walleye there too. That was fun. Multi-species day. So we'll put it in the good books as a good day, and we can sleep well tonight. So with that, I will say goodbye to you guys, and I will see you again soon in the next episode of Life on the Ice.